Time now for a look at another election, the one in this country. We're now 6 days away from the first round of the French presidential election. And the front runner, or one of them, Emmanuel Macron, trying to re-energize his base. It's time for our Campaign Beat segment. And joining us now is Charles Pellegrin. Charles, some people are saying that the big rally he's staging this Monday here in Paris is a make-or-break moment for his campaign.
Yeah, make-or-break moment is the word kind of used a lot. The leader of the En Marche movement, as it's called, he's holding or has just finished holding a rally in eastern Paris this afternoon. It's his biggest rally yet, he says, about 20,000 people, according to organizers. It's a bit of a make-or-break moment for the former economy minister. He's in the lead in the polls. He's, though, neck and neck with Marine Le Pen of the National Front, and conservative candidate François Fillon and far-left Jean-Luc Mélenchon are close behind as well. So our very own Claire Williams is at that rally in Bercy in Western Paris. She'll be able to tell us about it firsthand. First off, Claire, what did Macron choose to focus on for this speech today?
Macron actually still speaking on the stage just behind me. His speech has been going down pretty well. He's gone back to basics, to be honest with you. He keeps talking about how his movement, the En Marche movement, the one he launched a year ago, is all about change. It's all about renewal. He's been really emphasizing that he wants to change the way politics is done in France. He got a bit of a laugh out of the crowd a few minutes ago when he said, "I will continue using the words en même temps." In English, that means at the same time. He was criticized a lot by other candidates for saying at the same time too often, because he would compare ideas from the left and the right, and people used to accuse him of flip-flopping and not having a clear program. He says, "I will continue using the words en même temps at the same time because I will not be categorized. My movement is about change. My supporters, you all here, are about change. We will not be categorized, and we will continue to use ideas and policies from the left and the right to create our own En Marche movement."
It's important for me to be here because today is a huge message to the whole world, saying that there is a real alternative against extremism. Politician extremism, right, left, and religious and non-religious extremism.
For me, it's very important to come here today because I'm defending Macron's ideas, and for me it's very important because it's a party created by the people and for the people. So that's why I want to be here. I want to show that I'm supporting him until the vote.
He is young, so I think it's good for France if we have a young president.
So, Claire, it seems that, as you said, Macron's campaign has sort of plateaued over the last few weeks. Are you seeing any seeds of doubt among Macron supporters that you saw today?
Not yet. What's interesting is the people who have come to this rally, you've got a mix of different people. You've got some of the die-hard Macron supporters, and they've been telling me that they're not worried and that they hope, of course, that he will get through the first round of the election on Sunday. But if he doesn't, then their En Marche movement will continue. They told me it will continue up into the parliamentary elections in June. Of course, Macron said earlier on that half of the candidates in those parliamentary elections will be women, and that's something that a lot of people here are saying that they really believe in, and that Emmanuel Macron is the candidate of change. On the other side, you have many people at the rally here today who are simply curious. They're not yet Emmanuel Macron convertees. They haven't yet decided they're going to vote for him, but they want to know what he's about. He only launched his En Marche movement a year ago, and so a lot of people here don't yet know who he is. The other top candidates, Mélenchon, Fillon, Marine Le Pen, they've all been in politics for about 30 years. Emmanuel Macron is still a fresh, new face in politics. He's been relatively new into the scene. He was an economy minister, but he's only come into the politics in the last few years. So a lot of people here today are just trying to work out who he is and what his program's all about.
Thank you very much, Claire Williams. Claire Williams, they're reporting from from Bercy in Western Paris. Still a bit of uncertainty as to what Macron stands for.
Very interesting to hear Claire say how, even though we're 6 days away from the vote, a lot of people still have yet to make up their mind over who they're going to vote for in this most uncertain of elections. Now, the standard bearer for the National Front, Marine Le Pen, she's a known entity. She's also holding a rally in Paris this Monday.
Absolutely. Her rally will be held in the area of La Villette in northeastern Paris, in an area that's generally known as being left-leaning, actually, and demonstrations against this National Front rally actually took place on Sunday. Several hundred people marched throughout the afternoon at the call of several unions and left-leaning movements. A lot of calls there to, quote, stand up to fascism. There were a few clashes with police as well. France 24's Luke Shrago will be attending that rally in La Villette later this evening. He tells us what the final stretch of Marine Le Pen's campaign will look like.
Well, we're into the final week of campaigning, the home stretch before the first round of voting in France's presidential election, and the far-right's Marine Le Pen has been pulling out all the stops. She's particularly looking to shore up her vote with undecided voters, on the left wing at least. Coming here, we've in northeastern Paris, we saw violent protests over the weekend. Of course, very much a sense of anti-National Front sentiment here in that part of the French capital. Now, of course, she needs to shore up that vote if she wants to find that electoral success she's looking for. However, even though she can count on solid National Front voters, they know who they're going to vote for and they're going to turn out in force. But there are at least a third of the country that is undecided. And if she can't lock that down, she may face a battle that is just too much to get through, at least when it comes to the first round.
Well, just like Macron, Marine Le Pen also facing some uncertainty in this four-horse race of the
four-horse race.
Is,
We've also got the conservative François Fillon. But then there's the far-left candidate, Jean-Luc Mélenchon. Now, perhaps he's trying to give us the impression he's cruising. He's been on a river barge this Monday.
Absolutely, yeah, just cruising easily, smoothly down the canals of northeastern Paris. It was sort of a tour of the suburbs of northwestern Paris. It's actually not far from where Marine Le Pen will be holding her rally later this evening. The riverboat he was on is called La Péniche Insoumise, which is kind of like means the unsubmissive or unbowed riverboat. It's named after his movement. This is a working class area of the capital where he's extremely popular. The so-called banlieue, as these suburbs are called, they're a central talking point in the campaign. For the far right, they're a symbol of a so-called lawlessness and rampant immigration. For the left, they're part of a France that has been forgotten by the political elite. Mélenchon addressed this by throwing a jab at centrist candidate Emmanuel Macron, who had once said that young people in these areas only have two choices in life, either deal drugs or become Uber drivers. Let's take a listen.
Someone said something very important earlier, that they're not in a zoo. It's not true that in working-class neighborhoods you have a choice between selling drugs or being an Uber driver. It's shameful, don't you agree?
But yeah, neither drug dealers nor Uber drivers.
All right, latest polls just coming in as we speak. We've got here, and this, of course, all these polls have to be taken with a grain of salt. This one from IFOP Fiducial. Emmanuel Macron on 23%, Marine Le Pen 22.5%, François Fillon 19.5%, Jean-Luc Mélenchon 19.5%. So all within that 4-point margin of error at this point.
There's a lot of uncertainty around this election.
Many thanks for that, Charles Pellegrin. We'll have more on the campaign beat coming up later on.